Today's video, we're going to talk about micro niche websites and microsite marketing and whether that will make you a lot of money basically when you're trying to use ads to drive traffic at those sites. Most of the time when you hear people talking about microsites, they talk about SEO, and they certainly work great for SEO. It's easier to rank a website that is targeting a specific service or product because it'll rank easier, but then also the traffic you get is going to convert at a higher rate. For ads, it's just more about, traffic will convert at a higher rate, but any site that converts at a higher rate is going to get higher quality scores, which is going to get your ad shown a higher percentage of the time, because that's what Google does, and you're going to pay less per click for the same quality of clicks at the same time. So you actually earn three ways. Most of you guys that are advertising, if you're a plumber or you're selling auto parts or whatever, you guys just want one website that you sell everything on. You'll do much, much better if you have a few websites and you promote your highest profitable services or products on websites by themselves. And so what I usually encourage people to do is, sure, do your business. If you haven't started out in business, start with one site. Once you start learning what's really profitable in your business, create sites just for that, market the hell out of them, make a pile of cash doing it. I'm going to explain the core concepts to this and why you can make 2 to 5 times more profit and ROI in your market running ads for your product or service if you niche down further than just a plumbing company or just a kitchen appliance company. Niche down further. Just sell refrigerators. Just fix busted pipes if you're a plumber and the like, because you'll make 2 to 5 times more money doing it. The reason why, simply put, you make 2 to 5 times more money is because your competition's too lazy to do it, and people like to see they're dealing with specialists. Even if you're selling a product and you have a really detailed product sales page that goes over that product, they still would like to purchase from somebody who specializes in that exact product. If you sell roof coating, seeing somebody that sells roof coating and latex paint and roof tile repair kits and all that other shit, it's just not going to convert at the same rate as if they see the website. Because what people do that people don't recognize is when they go to your landing page, a good chunk of the people that are going to buy are going to see the rest of your site to see who you really are and who they're dealing with. As soon as they see you sell all that other shit, they might buy, but if they see you specialize, they're going to buy at a super high rate, which is why you go through the trouble of doing this. So for the cost of managing an extra website, making 2 to 5 times more money easily pays for it. Take the money you're making, pay somebody to help you manage a basket of websites, and put that extra money and put it back into your pocket. So anyway, with that said, I'll go through the main basics behind this and give you some case studies of where we did this before, so you have a good idea of what you should do using microsites in your business when you're advertising or even doing SEO. So it's starting out, a microsite is a site that's good for only one sub-niche, not just a niche like plumbing services, but a sub-niche with that. Basically, when you're making a micro niche site, if you have it niched down enough to where you're the only one in your entire market that's got a site dedicated for that, you have it niched down enough, and I don't call it a micro niche site. That's your goal. So it's somebody you attract that's looking for that exact thing gets to your site. There is no other person to get it from in their eyes. You're the only one. I did it in my own business. We eat our own dog food here. We offer a guaranteed PPC service where you don't pay until you get more results on your campaigns. Well, nobody else is offering that. I didn't get into business saying I'm going to be the 1,000th guy here that's going to do a PPC management service, because that's really lame. You certainly can make money if you have a plumbing service without niching down, but why not take all the extra profit once you niche down? I used to advertise on Google search. I don't anymore because the size of the clients that you get through Google search in the PPC management space is generally smaller. We're looking for bigger clients with bigger budgets, mainly just bigger budgets. Well, the bigger budget people don't come through Google search, because if you're going to spend big money, you want to know who you're dealing with. You don't want to pick some random guy in the yellow pages or Google, if you will, to do that. As a whole, anyway. But when we would advertise guaranteed PPC as a company, when you type in PPC services, the conversion rate would be fantastic. Normally in B2B services, I know because I've worked with dozens of them, you'll get 5% or so, maybe 7% if you're lucky, percent of the people contacting you. We routinely get 15% of the people contacting us with the name Guaranteed PPC, because that was something that people wanted, even though nobody's searching for Guaranteed PPC except for a small percentage, but that's not what I'm talking about here. If they were searching for Guaranteed PPC, my conversion rate would be 25% instead of 5%, and I'd get a 5x increase in profitability. There's such a difference in seeming like you're a specialist in a specific area and can set yourself apart, and for something nobody else does. Anyway, so to give you an example, we work with an electrical services company. They did well on their own as is. As if you do the right strategies like I teach you on this channel, you'll make millions of dollars running ads for a local service company like that. There's no reason why you can't. But you make even more money if you could create micro niche sites like home generator installation. So some people have home generator systems, so if the power goes out, their house doesn't have a lack of power. And better power the whole house. I'm not talking about the little ones, but it's like Generac systems. And when we set up a site just for that, nobody else in the local market has that. We cleaned up. So that's like an example of how you niche down and how far more specifically you need to niche down to get this 2 to 5x increase in profitability from your ad spend if you're going to do it or through doing it. So this works best when you pick both things here, or at least one of these, which is one, a high ticket size niche. So if you're going to go through the trouble of creating the micro niche site, create one for something that has a lot of dollars per sale. It makes it more worth your time. Or a super high margin, high profit margin, where you have not just your typical 20-30% margin or 40%, but where do you have a 50, 60, 70% margin? Do a micro niche site for that potentially. Or something that brings you in the most revenue in your business right now. This is more so the general route I would recommend. So as I was talking about before, go look at your customer database, see where you have the most customers bringing in the most revenue, and then make your micro niche site just for that, and then break off all your marketing for the people looking for that specific service, sub-service that or sub-product that you sell that brings in most of your cash right now, and then divert them over to your micro niche site once you've created it. Now, it's best if you niche down enough to where you're the only one doing a micro niche site for that service or product. If there's 2 or 3 players, but you've narrowed it down from 20 players you're competing against to 2, it's a hell of a lot better and still worth it to do at the end of the day. So you don't have to be the only one. Getting rid of 80% of your competition will still make you quite a bit of money. But anyway, those are the 2 ways that you kind of decided on a micro niche. And if you're just getting into business, starting out with a micro niche makes it way easier to scale up, because you're in a position where you got to make your money count and work, otherwise you're going to run out of money. Well, why not start with the most profitable way of doing it? You may not be able to sell as much selling to people that want generator systems in your city versus electrical services, where they come in and fix your lighting or your power box needs fixed or whatever. But each job's going to be 3, 4, 5 times more profitable. So you could do the micro niche site. You could always add another micro niche site later. So for an electrical services company like I told you we work for, to give you an example of the type of results we were talking about and how we did it, we were able to drop the cost per conversion, cost per sale in other words, in the electrical services space by 291% doing micro niche site for generator installation like I talked about here. We got an even bigger drop in what it costs to generate a customer when we did motorized shades. So, you know, some people get shades that are able to go up and down with a power switch, and they were able to identify that just with a few customers coming into their business. So it wasn't the biggest chunk of their business per se, but it was really high margin. And he wanted more though, so he created a new site, worked with them to create the new site. And then we created a campaign for that and cleaned up. Nobody else had a site for that. So that's one way to go about doing it and make the higher end of the 2 to 5x increase of profit you can make from your ads, focusing in on a core subservice that people look for within your main business that you do. Whereas generators, they also make a lot of money because the sale is like $5,000, $10,000. So create a micro niche site for that. You're not only making more per sale, but your cost per sale goes down along with it, because somebody who wants a generator is more likely to buy it from you versus being able to call 10 people and pick the cheapest price one, because we're a specialist. Key thing being here, people want to deal with the specialist, whether you're selling a product or service. They go through your main site, they see you specialize, they're automatically willing to pay more, automatically more likely to deal business with you. Flat out, that's why you're making more money. So I said this also works for products. We did this several other times before in other markets. To give you some other examples, we did this for urgent care. So this was somewhat recently, during the recent pandemic, had an urgent care place that wanted to do marketing for COVID testing. So instead of doing that on their site, we had a dedicated site for the COVID testing in that city. So it looked like an official website, which is kind of a trick I like to use sometimes. If you can make your site look like a government site, even though it's not a government site, COVID testing center, come here. And then when they come there, they realize it's an urgent center, but worked extremely well. In that case, cost per call dropped tremendously, over the 2x mark. We did this for a web design firm. So if you make websites, really dumb advertising for web design firm on Google, because you don't even know what kind of customer you're getting, which is, by the way, the other benefit of doing micro niche sites. You know what customers you're getting. If a lot of the customers are nuisance customers that you get now, niche down, you won't have that anymore. But in that space, there's certain people who get a website designed to make it more accessible to the disabled, the blind, the deaf, that kind of thing, because you're legally required to do it in some states. And so looking through what people search for in terms of web design and what business they've done in the past, we picked to just do a site just for disability related web design and the people that need to come into compliance for that. And the same thing, we made over 2 times more money on the same ad spend going after people who already know exactly what they want and looking like we specialize in just that. So you could look at your keyword data if you're running ads now to see what you can niche down at, or just look at your customer database, which is what this kind of lesson taught us here. And then the third and the last one, I told you that this also works for product companies. If you haven't watched my other videos, I've mentioned before that I got into doing web marketing and how I learned how to do it, which a lot of these people who do web marketing have never marketed anything in their life that they had where cash came out of their own pocket, which I kind of have to shit on that, because you're going to learn with other people's money basically. Even if you're offering the service for free, you're still wasting their money. And effectively, unless you've actually put your own money on the line, you do not learn the same lessons that you're going to learn marketing your own shit and knowing that it has to work, or you're going to lose an assload of money of your own money. Once you've done it for yourself, for a small niche that there isn't any real competitors, whether you're selling, furnace filters that nobody gives a shit about, and even if you knock it out of the park, you're making 200 grand in sales a year and no more, You gotta prove you can do that for yourself first. Then you could go tell the people and confidently say, my time is worth money. That's my opinion though, and if you haven't done that, pick something that's the smallest of the niches and then just make a micro niche site, market it yourself. But anyway, in the auto parts space, I used to sell auto parts, performance auto parts, to make your car faster, have more horsepower. We would make micro niche sites for this. Made a site just for turbo kits. So if you're going to install a turbo in your car, you're more likely to buy it from a guy who specializes in selling turbo kits for cars versus one big site that offers turbo kits. Unless you're a big no-name brand, it's not going to work nearly as well. Now, if I was a name everybody known and then I do a microsite where I don't associate my main name with the microsite, yeah, I'm not going to get this 2-5x increase in profit. But if I'm not a known name, you seem more attractive basically 100% of the time by looking like you specialize in the product that the consumer wants to buy. There's a point where you niche down so far where it's not going to help you out like you think it would, but for the most part, if you're selling performance auto parts like we were, definitely niche down. We did the air intake systems, made a site just for that. And then your domain name, you use something like turbokits.com, coldairintake.com. So it really looks like you have a premium brand within that space. And yes, buying the domain name so you can have the name of your product.com is going to be expensive. You might have to whip out 5, 10, 15, even 50 grand sometimes. But the fact that you pair the micro niche site with a exact match domain name and with a .com, it'll help you out a lot more than just having coldairintake.boys.com. It's not going to give you the same level of trust. The domain name that you have to pay a premium price for, so you don't have to do the boy thing at the end, is going to be worth it. We know, because we did this back in the day, we know the power of it, so we went and bought those domains. When I started out, I made sure to get guaranteedppc.com, not guaranteedppcservices.com or guaranteedppc.net, because it doesn't instill the same level of trust. So if you're not starting out and you're dead broke, get the premium domain name to go with your micro niche site. So anyway, all three of these had over 2x increase in profitability once we went to the niche microsite model. And of course, you have a lot of niches underneath your main niche that you're marketing to. You may have to create a lot of sites, which is why, for the most part, I would just pick where most of my sales come from. Create 5 micro niche sites and call it a day. You don't have to create a micro niche site for everything you sell. Just do the main ones. And then the fact that you can make 3 to 5 times as much money for those main ones, the amount of money you make in your business is still going to be 2 or 3x what it was before. So anyway, if you need some advice on how to do your micro niche sites, you can leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, and or any other PPC related question for that matter. If you like the channel and you like the information that I gave you here today, you should consider subscribing. I'm giving you information that comes from the campaigns that we manage for clients here at our firm, and I'm managing clients' campaigns and working with them directly. Most channels you find about online advertising here on YouTube are YouTubers who don't do this by trade, or they manage a couple campaigns. I manage dozens of accounts on an ongoing basis, and I share on my channel what's working out there in today's environment. So best information you're going to find on YouTube, bar none. So you should subscribe. And I also got a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog with similar style advice on it as is on my channel here. As a last note here, if you're looking for the best, and I do mean the best PPC manager that you could find to hire, contact my firm. I'll look over your stuff and I'll see how much sales results I can get for your campaign before I even charge you anything. That's what we do at our firm at Guaranteed PPC. If you're willing to pay a reasonable price for the high level of success we can provide, we're willing to work with you. That is, if you have a good product or service. We don't work with just anybody. You got to have something halfway decent to sell, but I'd be happy to look over your stuff if you contact me at guaranteedppc.com and see if we can work together and get you some estimates of results. That said, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.